Welcome to Ergontec, the Human X-Factor Show. About Ergon, the Ergonomics Club. It was founded in December 2019, conducted around 30 meets webinars within 20 months, from 30 to 200 members, started from a small group physical meeting to a global reach through virtual platforms. The purpose of this club is to promote ergonomics to help people work with comfort and efficiency, to create awareness at professionals, public, and governmental levels, and to help in professional development. How does it work? Online and offline networking, education, or other events. One can volunteer, polish public speaking skills, share knowledge, mentor young professionals, and learn from others. Mission is lucky. Learning, action, quality, and ideas. Who can be a member? This is an international virtual community of professionals from different backgrounds. The primary group is open for all ergonomics enthusiasts, occupational and physical therapists who are already practicing ergonomics. The other group is for all who support the cause of human factors at work. So, professionals from all backgrounds keen to learn, volunteer, support, or sponsor events. Membership fee. Currently, there is no membership fee to be a part of the community. How to become a member? Just send a WhatsApp message stating your interest to join the club with your name, qualification, profession, city, and country. Benefits of membership: first, information of events, priority registration for events, discounts on paid webinars, seminars, and conferences, platform to present your case studies, papers, and thoughts, preferred references for work through networking, regular interaction and discussion to help develop an ergonomic thinking. About the Human X-Factor Show, this is to introduce guests from various walks of life who have done something interesting and extraordinary in their lives. People inspire by their stories. Listen to some life stories, their successes, their failures, how they fought the odds and emerged in their respective lives, and find answers to questions lingering in your minds. If you want your story to be covered or know someone whose story can inspire, please send a gist of your story on the following email.
Mike has a business distributing ergonomic furniture in the UK. He also has a weekly podcast on UK Health Radio where he talks with health experts on a wide range of topics. The Relaxback UK show is a weekly and has the objective to inform and entertain listeners on a variety of health related topics, but often majoring on musculoskeletal health. Mike does not have a medical background but has become knowledgeable and is not afraid of asking searching questions of his guests. He seeks out experts to inform and entertain the listeners. Listen in and you will find out something useful that you did not know. If you don't, you will hopefully be made to smile or even laugh at some light-hearted moment or even one of the host friends. If you have health related topic that you would like to be covered, please contact Mike via email given below.
Oh, so today, I, Dr. Mona Pankaj, on behalf of the Ergonomics Club, and ErgoCure, welcome you all on yet another show, the Human Factor Show, Ergontec, the Human X-Factor Show. So today, we are going to talk with an extraordinary personality who has been a versatile one. So you have heard the introduction just a little while ago. What more to say about Mr. Mike Dilke? Yeah, so please help me welcome Mr. Mike here, and welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lovely to be here chatting to your ergonomics club.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us and sparing this valuable time of yours. I would also request you to just share the pronunciation of your name. How do you pronounce the other part of your name? Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, my first name is Mike. My second name is Dilke.
Dilke.
You just pronounce it as though there was no E on the end. So just Dilke.
Okay.
It's quite a rare name, actually. There aren't many people with my name, certainly in the UK and probably worldwide. There are only a few of us.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's a pleasure. And we had a brief interaction earlier also with me talking on your show, and I was really impressed by the work that you're doing there in UK. So tell us something about yourself as a general idea, and then we'll go into your story.
Okay, so what you just want sort of a general odd fact about my life, something like that. Is that what you're after?
Yeah, generally, what do you do?
Okay.
And
yeah, of course. Well, okay, so there are many odd facts about my life, so I'll try and be more specific. But so actually, I'm a civil engineer. I'm not a medical person, because I spend a lot of my time talking about posture and ergonomics, that sort of thing. However, I'm not qualified in these areas, so I defer to experts. And I actually my training and most of my working life has been as a civil engineer, which I thoroughly enjoyed. However, I think it was like 2008 and a bit after this massive downturn in construction, it was not a good time to be a civil engineer, and I was laid off. So then I started looking for other ways to amuse myself and other businesses to do. So that's how I ended up working kind of in the world of ergonomics, really. But in many ways, the human body is a structure. It is a structure, and it has solid bones and tendons that keep it all in place and all this kind of stuff. So civil engineering and ergonomics, I would suggest has quite a lot in common, really.
Yeah, interestingly, yeah. So civil engineers build structures that are not human, and now you're building human structures in a way.
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah, but that's very interesting. Yeah, the right application of knowledge of science. Awesome. So now that you've been in the field, in different fields, in fact, for so many years, but this is how you grew up. But how did you grow up as? How were you as a child?
As a child, I was probably quite boring, really. I always did my homework. I was quite studious. I'm not particularly clever, but clever enough. I'm not a great academic, but I passed my exams. I got to university to study civil engineering. When I was at school, the kind of thing that I spent most of my time doing, an awful lot of time doing, was playing rugby. I really enjoyed playing rugby. So I enjoyed being fit and healthy, but that kind of stopped actually when I was 18. I stopped playing rugby at 18. I remained relatively fit and healthy, and I actually had another go at playing rugby in my early 30s, but that didn't go quite so well. In fact, that ended up in hospital. I ended up dislocating a shoulder, and when I was at school, I never hurt myself playing rugby. I never got badly injured. I mean, I got the odd bruise and everything, but I never dislocated anything or hurt myself badly. So that was a bit of a shock to the system. That was kind of a warning that I was getting slightly older.
Yeah, interesting. So, being a studious student and then playing rugby, and then how come into civil engineering? Because you were very studious. You always wanted to do something which requires more studies. How was it?
Well, I was very keen to go to university, and I was looking for a course that I thought I would find fun, and you know, that was it. No great thought went into it, I have to say.
So you wanted to go to university to have fun or to study? I mean, what was the intention? How did you choose civil engineering as your career that time?
Yeah, all right. Well, I did end up having fun, and I did end up studying. You know, I got a reasonable degree. I think I chose civil engineering because it was an engineering degree, and it had no electronics in it. Because I did some electronics when I was at school, and I found that quite hard. So I was essentially searching around for an engineering degree with no electronics in it. So civil engineering seemed to fit that bill.
Oh, interesting. And then what turn of events happened? So you changed into something else also. You had to explore something else in your life. How was it?
So how do you mean? How come I'm not a civil engineer at the minute? Is that the question?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you were a civil engineer for a good 40 plus years, is what you said, right?
Well, quite maybe not 40. And I know I'm getting on a bit, but I'm not quite that old. So I worked as a civil engineer, I guess, from well, it was my first job. And I put off working for as long as I could, but I guess my first job was probably age 25. And then I stopped being a civil engineer probably about 45. So 20 years of working as a civil engineer. But it was just what life threw at me, really. So I had quite a good fun job. There was a big downturn, and a lot of construction got just stopped, essentially. First of all, construction in the private sector stopped. This is in the downturn of 2008, 2009. And I worked for a large company that worked in both sectors. So when construction in the private sector kind of took a big hit, we thought it's okay. We've got plenty of public works at the moment, you know, work from the government, that'll keep us going. And then a little while later, kind of that got a big hit as well. And it was, you know, it was a difficult time to be in construction. And I ended up being laid off, and thinking, all right, I'm going to have to find something else to do. So what I did is I kind of stepped back, and I'd done yoga for many years as a hobby. So from my early 20s, really, I had done yoga. At different times of my life, I've done more or less. So I'm not a great yogi or anything, but I'm certainly a bit more flexible than your average slightly paunchy middle-aged bloke. And it was based on that, actually, that I set up my next business, really. I developed some people that do yoga like to hang upside down, okay, which might sound a bit weird if you don't like yoga, but actually hanging upside down can feel really nice. It feels a bit strange at first, but when you get used to it, it stretches your back. It can be very relaxing. Now, hanging upside down in a regular sort of house can be quite difficult to do. So I developed this thing that I actually got the original idea from one of my yoga teachers, but it's a product that you hook over a door, shut the door, and the weight is taken on the door frame, and you can hang upside down on this. So my first idea was to develop that and sell that. And I got the thing through a few iterations, and because I've been using it, you know, for years myself, so I thought maybe other people would like it. And I actually took it to a patent lawyer, got him to look at it, and I was very excited about it. Yoga websites.
Interesting. But you took up yoga as a profession for a while?
No, I never did it as a profession. But I was thinking of maybe trying to sell this particular product, which helps people with one aspect of yoga, which is hanging upside down. In the event, I didn't do that. And I was actually, what happened is a neighbor of mine had a bad back. A neighbor of mine was in a real bad way. He was suffering from a bad back. He was thinking he was going to have an operation. He was trying all sorts of things. And with my interest in yoga, I kind of thought, you know what? There are lots of people that have bad backs. Perhaps I can do something to help them. So my plan was to have a website selling products and items that would help people with bad backs. So I spent a while looking for various different products. And I came across this particular chair called the Back-Up chair, which is manufactured in Sweden. And because I'd done yoga for a while, I could look at it and thought, actually, that looks quite good. I think that's got a pretty good chance of working, of helping people. So I arranged, excuse me, I arranged to meet with someone who from the Back-Up company. And I tried the chair out and I thought, yeah, this is really going to be good. I'd really like to get involved with this. So my initial plan was just to sell it on my website. But what I managed to do was I kind of talked myself into trouble. And then I became the distributor for this chair in the UK. So that's pretty much what I've been doing since then. I've been doing other things, but that's been the mainstay of what I've been getting up to.
Interesting. So while working as a civil engineer for quite some time, 20 years is a big time to work in a sector. And then being laid off from work because of economic downturns. And I'm sure this situation was not very easy to handle. And there are many people out here in India, and I'm sure worldwide, who go through such challenges sometimes, some point of time in their life. And they really find it sometimes very difficult to cope up with such challenges, especially when it comes to bread and butter. So how did you overcome these hurdles?
Okay, so I'm very lucky in that I'm part of a team. So the team is a team of two, me and my wife. We often look at each other and say, thank goodness we're on the same team. And we both work. Excuse me, I've got a tickly throat here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take this is swirling. We get these sent in from Mumbai.
Awesome.
Buy them in this country.
Yeah.
They work really well. Yeah. Really good for sore throat.
You want to sip some water? You can go ahead, please.
I might have to. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I haven't got water with me. I'm going to run out, get a glass of water, and come back. All right?
Don't
go away.
So Mr. Mike has been running this health show, which is about 1 million people listening to him almost every week. So he's been doing an amazing job. The name of the show is Relaxback Health Show. So there was a point of time when we had a discussion on the Relaxback Health Show about ergonomics, and he's been a really great interviewer. Now, welcome back after the break. Yeah. Welcome back after the break. Yes, we are looking.
I ran down to the kitchen, so I'm out of breath now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was I was talking about how I'm part of a team. So so my wife has a PhD. So earlier on in her career, she was a student. So I supported her then. And so when I lost my job and I was building up this business, she kind of supported me. So yeah, we're part of a team. It's teamwork.
Awesome. So she's been the backbone when you needed it the most. And similarly, you have been her backbone when she needed it. So
Yeah.
awesome. I think this is the kind of relationship we. So apart from her support, I'm sure financially she supported you, but how did you manage your own back end? Meaning, how did you manage your own thoughts? How did you stay optimistic throughout till the time you really settled?
Well, that's a good question. When I used to work for other people, I had a boss who I used to really rather like and quite respect, and he had a great phrase. He used to say, "Mike, you got to fake it till you make it." So I just thought about that and just kind of carried on until it started to work.
Yeah. Yeah, so absolutely, that's a great way to look at it. Fake it till you make it. So you stay optimistic till you really turn all the pages according to what you wish them to be. Awesome.
Yeah.
So so you've been a civil engineer, then you've been doing yoga, so that means you're trying to stay fit, and you are fit, I'm sure. You've been helping so many people with your Relax Back Health show, with different kinds of experience sharing, knowledge sharing that happens over your talk show. What is next on your list?
Next on my list, my goodness. All right. Well, what I would really like to do is develop the Relax Back UK show, which is essentially the Relax Back UK show. It's a podcast, and I did one or two ad hoc shows, really to try and market my company. You know, that's where I was importing these ergonomic chairs and that sort of thing. And it started as a marketing kind of tool, and then the owner of UK Health Radio invited me if I would like to try doing a few more shows. So I thought, well, yeah, why not? Let's just try that. And the way I describe it really is that it's sort of a hobby gone out of control, because it really was not much more than a hobby, like a bit of fun. But as it's gained traction, and the show is weekly, so I have to put together a show every week. It's gained traction. I've ended up talking to more and more people, different sorts of people, and in some respects the topics have grown. I started off really concentrating more on musculoskeletal issues, and I still do talk about them quite a lot, but I also have other topics as well. So this is a long-winded answer to your question. I'll get there eventually, don't worry. But what I would really like to happen is for the Relax Back UK show to grow more, gain more traction, so it can help more people and be of more interest to more people. That's really one of my big objectives at the minute, and it ain't doing badly actually. So the number of people that listen each week has grown to, it's around 40,000 each week. So it's a reasonable number. Many shows are bigger, but it's getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. 40,000 each week is a big number. So that means on an average, you keep having about a million listeners every year. So more than that. Awesome.
Well,
awesome.
I don't know, the 40,000 each week, I don't know how many of those are returning.
Yeah.
Or I don't think there are 40,000 new listeners each week. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Yeah. I'm sure that is there. that we'll be able to find out. Technology is growing very fast, so yeah, we will probably be able to track all the IP addresses and and see who is the repeat one, I'm sure. So when you're saying that you're going to achieve that.
Okay, so that's a difficult question. The only reason people are going to seek out the Relaxback UK show or return to it if they've heard it once is because they find it interesting, useful, and fun. You know, there's no other way. So, and let's face it, no one's gonna keep tuning in to listen to me. So what I always strive to find is to have some really interesting guests. So guests that are really knowledgeable at the top of their field very often, and have a good story to tell that is useful and interesting to the listener. And also the guests have got to be fun. You know, they've got to just be fun to listen to.
Absolutely.
So
that means
it's all about the guests.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, awesome. So what I can understand from this is basically you're giving importance to other people so that you find out a better guest every time, or better, or meaning best in their field every time, and you're trying to give maximum to your audience. More than probably what you get in return. So I think this is a very big philosophy here for the newcomers to listen to. Give more than what we really get, more and more. So that's a wonderful thought, though. That's
I
nice.
suppose I must admit, I never really thought about it in those terms. The terms that I've thought about it are a lot simpler in that, let's face it, no one is going to want to listen to me for an hour every week. So I better get someone in who's more interesting than me.
I'm sure. Yes. So keeping life simple. Yeah. So anything that now that you've been doing your ergonomics furniture, especially this particular chair that you're talking about, this marketing throughout UK, other countries also, or it's just the UK?
No, I'm just keep myself within the UK.
Okay, so you've been into this business of this particular special chair called ergonomics, and I'm sure that means you're aware about what is ergonomics. Have you heard about the ergonomics club, the ergonomics club earlier? I mean, before we.
So we've chatted before on the Relaxback UK show. You were a guest then, so I heard about it then. So that's how I've come to know about the Ergonomics Club. But that's all really. So tell me a bit more. Let me know.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So we had a little bit of chat about ergonomics club. So basically, this club is primarily to help as a virtual community of various ergonomic professionals as well as ergonomic enthusiasts across the world. So we've got representatives from various countries, and they're all voluntarily supporting the budding entrepreneurs and ergonomic enthusiasts also in terms of technical guidance, in terms of marketing guidance, various other things, especially for skill building purpose. And ergonomics is a little bit of about creativity as well. So we try and promote creativity, because unless we try to put a little bit of creative shade to each ergonomic assessment and treatment, or therapy plan, or the product design, we may not be able to creating. So lucky is our motto. Lucky. Okay. So learning, action, quality, and ideas. So this is what we promote actually. And so do you think such services, ergonomics, and obviously the club that we're talking about, such things will make some sense in your circle Do you think ergonomics applies to people around there? What do you think? Does it apply to people there?
Absolutely. So almost daily, I talk to people that are having trouble, usually at work, okay, and they are suffering when they don't really need to be. So not only are they, in pain, they're just not as efficient as they could be, because they spend their time when they're at work worrying about how much it hurts them rather than getting on with what they're wanting to do or meant to be doing. So, yeah, I mean, this is a problem, a huge problem, certainly a huge problem in the UK, and I think worldwide. So, where I come across it usually is people that have to sit to do their job, because a lot of people do have to sit to do their job now. But I speak with all sorts of people that are involved with that. So certainly I speak to ergonomists. I speak to all sorts of therapists, physiotherapists, chiropractors, osteopaths. Lots of people get involved in helping people at work, for sure. But I often speak to ergonomists. In fact, I spoke to one last week, and we did a show together. He is also an Alexander technique teacher. I don't know if any members of your ergonomics club are Alexander technique teachers. Looks like they might be. You're nodding your head.
Yeah. So it's a technique that we use in ergonomics. Yes. So how was it? How did you like it?
Oh, very good. No, he was a great person to talk to, and actually he sits on one of the chairs that I import. So that was a good two-way thing there. What sort of other people are in your group? Do you have any surgeons
in the team? So this
Yeah.
primarily to promote the physical therapists, the occupational therapists primarily, actually, because in OT we learn the basics about occupation, and we think that as occupational therapists, the inputs that would be given as ergonomists, the learning is also more because they already have a basis of what an occupation is, and the overall, I think, application is more effective. So when an OT practices as an ergonomist. So right now it is there, mostly for OTs. A few PTs in India are also doing that, but not many other professionals are more aware than very preliminary ideas about it. Now people are getting more aware. Yeah, but the idea of having the club is also to have a couple of more branches where we'll have professionals from other backgrounds as well. So we will have even the ophthalmologists on board. There are a few who had addressed our people there, and ophthalmologists, surgeons, orthopedicians. They would like to have architects, interior designers, everybody on board. Yeah. So currently, this particular club is open for OTs.
Okay. All right. No, very nice to know. So when is the next event with the club that I should be coming along to?
Yes, absolutely. Very soon. I'll keep you posted on that. Very soon. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. So great. And anything that you would like to advise the budding ergonomists and budding therapists, those who are a part of this club, and all of them who are listening to you, because not only as ergonomists, I think anybody who is getting into their own zones, private practice or businesses. So I think since you've got a background which has got orientation of different fields, as a professional, as somebody who's done a job, as an entrepreneur, as also something into a very creative field. So anything that you would like to advise the younger generation?
Yeah. appropriate almost anywhere. And don't be afraid of a low-tech solution. So, if you're helping someone who's sitting at a desk, or it might be the workstation might not be a desk, it could be something else, but there's nothing wrong with having a low-tech solution like sticking a block of wood underneath the legs of your desk. You can get these wonderful desks that go up and down, electric adjustable height desks, and they are fantastic. I've got one myself, right? I absolutely love it. But if you have to work sitting down and your desk is at the wrong height, there's nothing wrong with sticking a bit of wood underneath the legs and increasing the height. You don't necessarily need a high-tech solution. So for a lot of these things, you can make things better without spending loads of money.
Absolutely. So for us, ergonomics is about giving cost-effective solutions and not necessarily high-tech solutions. So absolutely, I get that idea. And as an entrepreneur, anything that you would like to motivate them with?
Okay, so that's a really hard question. So I don't even really think of myself as an entrepreneur, really. But this idea, this advice that I had when I was working for someone else a number of years ago, of this fake it till you make it, you just got to get on with it. And some things work and some things don't. It's not great. It's probably not the best advice. It's a bit vague, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, I'm afraid.
I'm sure you're such a modest person. You don't even know what you're doing, So you've been doing great, Mr. Mike, and I think people should follow you for being the versatile guy that you are, for being as modest as you are, for being able to do so many things and still being humble enough to not feel anything about it. Big deal. So, I didn't think of it so much. It all just happened, and you took life as it came. You took up the challenges as they were. You were a wonderful spouse to your wife, and that's the reason. Also, I'm sure credit goes to her also, but I'm sure you must have been a wonderful spouse, so that she felt the need to support you throughout. So I think it's mutual, and it's not only about her or you or anybody, any one person. So in terms of relationship also, and in our earlier talk, you mentioned that your wife is from India. So is that right?
Yeah. So my wife's family is from Mumbai.
Yeah.
And she was actually born in London, and her parents came to London to study.
Awesome.
But so she was born in London. But I've been to visit family in Mumbai a few times. So I have so I have some experience of being to Mumbai. It's always great fun. I mean, I must admit, when we go to Mumbai, we do get a bit spoilt because we're visiting family and what have you. But yeah, we've always had great fun in Mumbai.
Yeah, and it's very nice talking to you, and we would love to welcome you. And probably when next time you visit, we'll have a physical event, face-to-face meeting.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah, so that I'm looking forward to hosting you in your physical presence here in India. So it was lovely talking to you, and I'm sure our audience today is going to gain a lot of insights, how to be humble, how to be modest, how to keep just doing many things and still be just you. Awesome talking to you, Mr. Mike, and looking forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much indeed. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you, and I thoroughly enjoyed all those lovely things you said about me. I'm not sure I deserve them, but many thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure you deserved. Yeah, thank you so much again. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.